If your firm feels one good decision away from a breakthrough, then this is for you. We're hosting our first mastermind of 2026 in Phoenix on February 26th and 27th. And it's 2 days designed to actually move your firm forward and grow who you are as a leader. Day 1 is a full day of hot seats where you break into groups and work through the real problems in your business. Day 2 is our wellness workshop featuring sessions that help you boost your energy, lower stress, and think more clearly. We have Jocelyn and Aaron Freeman, hosts of a top 10 marriage podcast and masters in psychology, teaching relationship skills that you'll use at work and at home. A lunch and learn on habit formation with Tyson, and more. View the full event details and grab your seat at maxwellevents.com.
This is Maximum Lawyer with your host, Tyson Mutrux.
Welcome back to another episode of Maximum Lawyer. I've got a fun one today because we're going to be talking about my favorite toys and tools and resources to use. Kind of think about this. This is so close to Christmas that Santa reaching into a sack and like picking out the favorite toys, right? That's kind of what I'm doing. A lot of this is going to be super random, by the way. Super random. I went around my office and took some pictures of some things. I've got one thing here right next to me that I will mention. If you're just listening, I'll talk about it. But I'll talk about some softwares and other AI stuff that I like to use. But I thought it'd be kind of a fun one to go over. Let's go start with something like super, super basic, like health-wise. So there is my favorite. I'm telling you, this is super random. I do have issues with my back. And so it's, to keep my back okay. This Chirp wheel, I don't know if you've ever heard of it. There's a lot of commercials they have for it, but the Chirp, I've got the 3 different sizes, and it's one of those things where I can hop on it. My back will be hurting, and then I'll hop on it and I'll be good to go. And I'll be completely fine. It's amazing. They're the ones that run the commercials where they've got the microphone next to the person's back where you can hear it popping. It is better than the commercials. I'll tell you that. It is so amazing. Another one I don't have here. It's at home, but the back pod, Christopher Nicolason recommended it. I was having some awful back pain, and it was coming from my ribs. My ribs kept going out of place. He recommended the back pod. It was gone in a week. It was amazing. I'd been dealing with it for like 3 weeks. Amazing. This is not all going to be, about back and health and all that. So keep listening. If you are looking for a wall mount, so a wall mount for your monitor, all right? Because I like for my MacBook, or not my MacBook, my iMac, I have that. It's wall mounted. Right now it's actually desk mounted, but it has no stand. So it's got to be mounted. And there is a mount that I found on Amazon. It's North Bayou, and you'll see it's got the NB, almost like the New Balance logo, but it's not. It's North Bayou. It is a really, really strong mount, wall mount. Really, really like it. What I'm talking to you through right now, what you're looking at if you're watching this, is the Elgato teleprompter or Elgato prompter. That is what I like to use when it comes to this. It's tricky though. If you are watching, you're going to see why it's tricky. So if I can't put a Google Doc onto the screen, because if you're watching right now, see how it washes out my face. So if it's really, really bright, you can't have it. So I'm looking at myself right now in Riverside, which has it's a darker screen. So you can do dark mode in Google Docs. It's not a built-in feature. That's another thing. Look in the plugins. So I don't actually know the name of this, but there is a plugin. I got sick of it, so I stopped using it. But there's a plugin that if you want to have dark mode, so on your Google Docs, as opposed to just that white screen and the black text, it'll give you white text and the black screen. So it's not as bright. Really, really good. So I do recommend that. Speaking of, so I told you some of this is going to be super random. So when I'm like some extensions that are on my actual Chrome, I'll give you my favorite one. There's 2 favorites. One is Dub. So DUBB. I actually canceled my Dub subscription. You can actually send video messages to people because I had stopped using it for a little bit. And then they gave me an incredible deal. So I went back and used them again. And Dub is a great company. I actually think they're really, really amazing. So check it out. Inbox when ready, though. This is what allows me to open up my emails and not see anything. Okay. All I can see like the search bar and everything. So I can search it. So I can look for a specific email. But when I open my email, I don't see all those messages. It's amazing. Okay. Freaking amazing. That is really, really awesome. I highly recommend that. All right. So another thing I went and took pictures of when it comes to my office was Mac Studio. So the computer I'm on right now, what I shoot the majority of the podcast on is Mac Studio. Get them on eBay for cheaper. So you don't have to buy it. It's not a cheap machine. Okay. It's like I think it was still like $3,000 or $4,000. Not cheap. But if you buy like the souped up version, like I have brand new, you're spending way more. But if you're wanting to produce, videos and then have the editing and all that done on this computer, it's probably more than what you need, but it's amazing. It doesn't miss a beat. There is no stuttering. There is nothing when it comes to the watching of like videos or having a bunch of tabs open, and it's none of that. Everything's wonderful. Always buy a bunch of RAM too. When it comes to microphone, I'm using the Shure mic, SHURE. Make sure you get the USB one. I do have the other kind that's got the other plug. I don't know something CR or LSR or something like that. I've got that one, but I've got that at my other desk over there. So I've got multiple stations for recording set up in here. The one over there, it does require an audio interface, which I do have. That's one that I took a picture of too, because I don't remember the actual name brand, but it's the Volt 276. So Volt 276, really good audio interface if you just need something for yourself. It actually does allow you to record up to 2 microphones. So that's pretty good. But the Shure, I have the Shure. I've got the SMB and then something 7 or something. But any of the Shure mics, really, really good. I also have a travel mic, also really good, that allows me, it hooks up to a swing arm, which I'll talk about swing arms too. But it also has a built-in stand in the case. That's what makes it really, really handy. What I'm using right now is the Elgato swing arm, and that's really good. I think it's the only one that they offer. So if you go to their site, really, really good. It goes up and down, side to side. That one's awesome. So the Elgato swing arm. And then if you want more of a traditional one, the other one I have is Gator Frameworks. So that's what holds the microphone, by the way. If you're wondering what a swing arm is, that's what holds the microphone. So the Gator Frameworks, very, very durable. I've had others, and I've got the Samson, SAMSON. I do have those as well. I've got a couple of those, really, really strong. Those are more of the traditional one. They look more of like a traditional one with like the metal framing, everything. The Gator Frameworks has that more of like that tube look to it. It looks nicer, I think, but the other one is super strong. I've had ones, if you're going to be doing a lot of recording, I've had them where they exploded on me. The spring exploded and shot up and almost hit me in the face. Luckily, it didn't hit me in the face. But so that's a good one. So we got the Shure mics. Lighting. So right now I'm using some box lighting that I got on Amazon. They're like 8x8 square. Like you can find them. They're pretty standard. I don't know the brand. Those are pretty standard. But I also have the Loom cubes at another station over there where I record that you can't see, but you can hear me talk about. Loom cube. They've got these lights that are circular, and they're on these arms that adjust a lot of different ways, and it allows you to adjust the warmness of them and the brightness. They're really handy. And I only have 2 over there. Right, what I'm looking at right now, I've got 3. And they're on stands and stuff. These are a little bulkier. The ones over there, just a couple small lights that go on my desk. Really, really simple. So that's when it comes to recording. I think that may be all the things I took pictures of that I'll share at the moment. So that's good. Excellent. All right. Let me see what else we have when it comes to software. So let's talk about softwares. Let's talk about AI. All right. Favorite AI tools. Probably my favorite is Bolt. So Bolt.new. You can build a lot of cool things with it. So that one's good. Bolt.new. I've done some trainings in the guild on Bolt. However, and I've always been feel like people are like either like a Claude person or a Gemini person or ChatGPT. Traditionally, I've been ChatGPT. I like ChatGPT. I use a lot with. I love Perplexity. That's another tool. So Perplexity I have the Perplexity Max. So I've got the top plan. Love it. It's got the email integration built in where it organizes my emails and gives in drafts responses that are in my tone. Awesome. So that's another tool. I do like ChatGPT. It's really good. There's a lot of things that are great about it. There's got the built-in agents. You also have Atlas as the browser. I've found myself going with multiple browsers. I will use the Perplexity Comet browser. I think it's amazing. I also think that the Atlas browser for ChatGPT, it's more streamlined. I also think that's amazing. But I also think that Gemini, the built-in Chrome browser, the Chrome browser with the built-in Gemini tool that you can move around the chat window is also amazing. I think that one's a really cool one too. So I recommend the Chrome one. I think all of those are really excellent. But I can tell you that Google Studio, let me make sure I'm saying that right, because I've been calling it Gemini Studio, and I'll make sure I'm calling this the right thing so you can find it. So Google AI Studio. So I have been calling it the wrong thing whenever I said Gemini Studio, but it's there's so much wrapped up into it. I was talking about this on the Guild Live show earlier. Man, I feel like it took this massive leap. Google and Gemini took this massive leap over ChatGPT, where ChatGPT had gotten out to a pretty strong lead. And this horse race is strong. It's a really good horse race. But Gemini has so much. It replaces Bolt. I kid you not, I took some of the really cool things I built in Bolt and I said, create a prompt so I can build the same thing in another LLM. Gave me the prompt, so even gave me the code. I put it over into Google AI Studio and it built a better thing than what I had built over in Bolt that I'd spent hours and hours on. It's really incredible. Really, really good stuff. So Gemini, if you're not using Google AI Studio, thank you to Jeremy Danielson for turning me on to that. Excellent. Speaking of Jeremy Danielson, another one of my favorite things is so Jeremy had told me about, he had gone to see his brother who was having a surgery. Hopefully that's not sharing too much information, Jeremy, but he has a Tesla and he used full self-driving FSD to take him from his home in Iowa to, I believe it was Indianapolis. And it did all the driving the whole way. And I was kind of skeptical because I have Blue Cruise in my Ford truck. And so it does okay on the interstate. It's self-driving on the interstates, but it definitely requires my intervention a lot. I went and test drove a Tesla and fell in love. And so I'd say one of my favorite toy right now, like if I'm going to point to one thing, it's my Tesla Model X, and it is amazing. I can just say, take me home. It takes me from where I am and home, pulls in the driveway, everything. It does the parking. I don't do anything. You're not even going to believe me when I'm telling you this. I'm telling you, go test drive one. It's the most incredible thing I've seen. It is so amazing. It pulled over. There was an ambulance coming towards us. It was the day after I got it. Driving, nighttime outside, ambulance coming. It pulled over. It pulled over to the side of the road. It was like it knew what to do. And you can adjust the settings on how aggressive you want it to be. Incredible. Okay, I'm just telling you, incredible. I get nothing from telling you how great it is. It's amazing. So check it out. Well worth the price tag. That's all I'm saying. So impressive. My dad is an old school mechanic. Okay, he is a turning wrench mechanic, gas powered Dodge Mopar kind of a guy. All right, that's who he is, and he wants to now get a self-driving Tesla. Okay, he has been anti-electric vehicles ever since I've talked about getting one. Ever since I've had my truck, even though he's not poo-pooed it, he's talked about it's nice and everything. He's still not. He wants the gas powered, right? Not anymore. That's how he was able to convert a guy that's been working and turning wrenches on gas powered automobiles, that's made his entire living off that, wants to convert him. So, anyways, enough of that commercial. So let's talk about some softwares. I've talked about Zoho before. I love Zoho. I think Zoho is great. We've built our entire case management system on top of Zoho. So through Zoho Creator. So we have Zoho Creator and it's bolted on. The user can't tell. So our people can't tell when they're looking at it that it's been bolted on. But what we've done is we've built a product that's built on top of Zoho. It's built out of Zoho Creator and we bolted on top of Zoho Projects, which is also, even by itself, if you were just to use a platform, a project management platform, Zoho Projects by itself is really amazing. It's really, really good. If you want this is one I haven't used a whole lot lately, but to make videos, AI videos, Synthesia. I talked about Synthesia a long time ago, a few years ago, I think, actually. Synthesia. This is where I'm reaching into the grab bag. I'm looking through all of my different tabs, my bookmarks and everything. But because I want to kind of give you sort of pull back the curtains just a little bit and show you some of the things that I love. From when we're talking about giving assessments to employees, really like Kolbe. We use the Kolbe index during the leadership meeting earlier today. We were actually talking about a particular team member and what is their, I was like, well, what's their Kolbe score? It's something we use on a regular basis. And so I think Kolbe, it's a really good tool. Okay. So here is, and this is kind of fun. I forgot about this. There is an article, it's writerswrite.co, and it's 60 words to describe writing or speaking styles. This is a really handy article because if you want to write something in a specific style, it gives you a bunch of different words you can choose from and allows you to better formulate your prompts. Some of you may not need that, but I can tell you it's a pretty handy thing. All right, let's look at another thing. Oh, I can't help it. I got to mention Notebook LM. But Notebook LM is amazing. Notebook LM they've been adding so many different features to it. You can use mind maps. I use it to help prep for mediations and depositions where you just plug the stuff into it and it helps. It does a podcast for you. It'll do a video for you. It is really, really amazing. So Notebook LM is one of my favorites. I have it as marked as YouTube to text, but it's actually video to text. So videototext.com. You can take a link from a YouTube video, put it in here, and it will actually create it'll create a transcript of it. I have the paid version, which I think it was I paid one time. So upgrade to Pro. I'm clicking on this now. Upgrade to Pro and convert without limits. And say one-time payment of $50. I think whenever I did it was like 10 or 20. It's gone up a little bit, but you just put in the video, any video turns into a transcript. I think that's a really helpful one that we use. Gamma. Okay. So gamma.app, I think is what it is. Gamma is a really good one to create slides. All right. So gamma.app. So it creates slides. It's really amazing. So I highly recommend Gamma. I have the free version now. I did have the paid version, and then I backed it off I forced myself to actually not go with the paid version because I was depending on it too much, I think to a fault. And so I said, okay, we got to stop doing this. Opus Clip. This is one where you can take your full length videos, convert them to smaller videos, but then also post it. That's a really good one. Really like that. Oh, Power Drill. I forgot about Power Drill. This is one I need to use this one more often. So Power Drill is one that allows you to take and upload your data and really the AI analyzes it for you and you can dig really deep on the data. You could probably do things that are similar with other LLMs, but it's built for this and that's why I like it so much. That's a really good one. Sky Reels I had used for a little bit. I've kind of fallen out of love with Sky Reels, so I will skip that one. So I have the way my windows are set up. I've got it when it comes to my bookmarks. I've got AI, and then I've got AI to test underneath that. And before I get to AI to test, N8N. If you want an agent building platform, N8N by far to me it's the gold standard. It's the best. But you can do. There's a lot of people that might say you can go with gems. So Gemini gems, that's another thing you can use to build out agents, but I like N8N. But one that I had in the AI to test category, it's still there, that I need to move over, is Bolt.new. That was in my AI to test. Supabase was there. I would move that over. But the thing about Bolt that now you can do in Google AI Studio, they're very similar. If you look at Cursor, Lovable, they do the same thing. Okay, so if you're wanting just find the one that you like the most and just go with it. All right, so that is that one. I guess I'll kind of mention things like this. Like we use, like for our phone system, Ring Central. At some point, we'd like to switch over to Zoho Voice, but we're waiting to make sure that everything is working well when it comes to that. We use all the Zoho products. So I'm not going to mention all of the Zoho products, but a lot of really good ones. Here's I don't know how many people might need this, especially because AI, a lot of these AI intake platforms, they have all these different languages built in. So keep that in mind too with this. But if you need an interpreter, we use a service called LAMP, L-A-M-P, interpreters. You can do all the booking and payments and all that online. Really, really good. Highly recommend it. We use Twilio. Twilio is one we use for sending out text messaging. That's an important one to us. We are QuickBooks users, so I know there's love and hate. We use Bill.com. So two parts of Bill.com, both for payments, but we also use Divvy. So Divvy is now owned by Bill.com. And so that was great. That was something that was really good for us, that it syncs those two. So Divvy is like your company credit cards. You can do all your, you can view it almost like a line of credit, but they got to be paid off like your credit card. So I can't remember exactly what they call it, but that's actually pretty handy. So that's something we use for that. Let's see. Birthday Buddy. I've been using Birthday Buddy for a while, but I've got rehook it up. BirthdayBuddy.com, bdaybuddy.com. I can't remember who recommended this. I think Jay Ruane might have recommended it years ago. And that's what it wishes people happy birthday on Facebook. It's pretty cheap for that. I like Zapier. Zoho Flow does very similar things with Zapier for automations. That's pretty good. Used to use Miro, and now there is another one that I am going to draw a blank on. I always forget the name of it, but I'll try to think of it by the end of this. But Miro we replaced it with Board Mix. So this is one where Board Mix it was a one-time fee, super cheap, and Board Mix is amazing. I highly recommend if you want like workflows, an AI-powered online whiteboard. It is so Alex Bainoff, he recommended this to me about a year or two ago. So much cheaper than Miro, but it's really good. It's essentially ripped off Miro is what it did, but it's still pretty good. Let's see, what else might people like to hear about, and then I'll kind of wrap things up. But let's see, I'm trying to get through all of the quick stuff. Oh, you know what? If you want to learn how to write a sales letter, I'll see if this is still active. Yeah, it is. So this site is really active. You're talking about free writing lesson when it comes to writing like a sales letter. The GaryHalbertLetter.com /newsletters. This is one I've had for years. I probably had this for 15 years. Really handy if you want some examples on a sales letter. So the Gary Halbert, HALBERT letter.com /newsletters. Super good. Gary Halbert's I think he's passed away, I think. Hopefully, if that's not true, I'm so sorry, Gary Halbert. But I'm pretty sure Gary had passed away years ago. Really good copywriter. So that's something I recommend. That's a good one. And then let's see if I can give you a few more. Oh, if you want visuals, DK Global. It's a really good when it comes to visuals for trial. High impact visual litigation strategies is another one that I really like. A lot of you trial lawyers are going to know CVN, Courtroom View Network. That's really good when it comes to watching. You can watch live trials or recorded trials. So that's kind of fun. Trying to see if there's anything else that people might want to see. Oh, we use tracers for doing some background research on people. So that's a good one. But I think that's it. I've covered a lot. I don't know if we're gonna have a list of this in the show notes. I don't know if we hopefully we can, and we'll do that for you, hopefully. But if not, sorry. But hopefully you took lots and lots of notes. But those are some of my toys. Those are not all the ones I like. There's lots and lots of others that I could probably recommend. But this will be part 1, I guess. I don't know if there's gonna be a part 2, but maybe in a couple of years I'll do a part 2. But that's all I have. I have a wonderful, I guess, week. I will talk to you all next week. See you, buddy.